This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Tonight, a St. Louis County police officer is recovering after being struck and pinned by a car while trying to disperse a rowdy crowd. This happened last night along New Halls Ferry Road in Florissant. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush, and in just the past hour, police sent us word that charges have been issued in this incident. All this started with a large gathering of nearly 100 cars and a shooting in our city. Tonight, we know one person was rushed to the hospital. At least another 4 were hurt. The Major Case Squad is investigating that incident right now, and St. Louis County Police say members of this crowd moved on to New Halls Ferry Road in Florissant, where that officer was struck. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay reports on the commotion and why residents say this isn't uncommon.
Flashing lights and crime scene tape filled this area of New Halls Ferry Road in Florissant Saturday night, after officers from the North St. Louis County Precinct were sent to disperse a large crowd.
I heard a lot of police cars, and I didn't look out the window. Usually I do.
Minutes after 10 p.m., one of the responding officers was hit by a car while trying to break up the crowd. The officer's injuries are not life-threatening, and they're expected to recover, but people in the area say they've seen this all before. So this is common?
For the weekend, yeah.
5 on your side spoke with Dee, a resident of a nearby apartment complex who didn't want to show her face on camera. She told us she purposely avoids driving in the area at night.
Anything you need to get from the store, you need to get it before you door. They drive crazy, and next thing you know, you hear the police and the sirens and all that.
Less than 24 hours later, the scene here on New Halls Ferry Road was completely quiet, but several residents we spoke to who live and work in this area said this type of reckless driving is very common. None of them wanted to go on camera, but they did want to voice their concerns. Specifically, a local business owner who saw all the commotion from Saturday night as he was leaving work. He said this isn't anything new and it needs to stop.
I just pray for the whole set, because if the police can't stop them, who can?
Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
Right now, 25-year-old Antoine Hunter is facing charges for attempted assault, resisting arrest, and armed criminal action. He's currently in the hospital and will be held on a $500,000 bond. This investigation is still ongoing, so we will bring you updates on air, online, and on the 5 on your side app as soon as we get new information. And right now, we've got new information on a deadly shooting that happened on Cardinal Avenue and Olive Street in Midtown. That's where police say shots were fired into a large crowd of people around 11:45 last night. We've been told at least 4 people were shot. One of the victims, who police identified as 19-year-old Eddie Randall Jr., died after being taken to the hospital. The other 3 victims that we know about are expected to survive. Again, right now the Homicide Division is investigating this shooting. We'll keep following all this violence and have more information for you tonight on 5 on your side at 10. Also tonight, we're trying to learn more about a reported shooting at the Show Me Center in Cape Girardeau. That's where a graduation ceremony for Cape Central High was taking place today. According to police, 2 people have been shot, one of whom was taken to the hospital. We don't know the victim's conditions as of this time. We do know that one person has been taken into custody, and police on scene say the building is secure. All right, let's take a live look downtown, where it's been a humid and hot day all day. And now we're tracking some possible storms that are coming in a little later this week. Gary Frank is here with more of our Weather First forecast before those clouds roll in on Tuesday, Gary.
Yeah, it's hot. It's the hottest day so far this year. Hottest day in a long time. We finally hit 90 degrees. And as we continue to go even higher than we are right now, we're going to stay dry to start the week. You don't have to worry about rain Monday or really a lot of Tuesday. But severe weather returns, and it all has to do with when we look off to the west. Now, of course, there it is, clear downtown, but overall, we're looking at some pretty strong to severe thunderstorms in central Kansas right now. And that entire complex will eventually drift off to the east, weaken, and bring us some clouds, but it will be the catalyst for more storms down the road for us as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday specifically. Our current temperatures, 91 in Florissant, 90 here. 90 at Cahokia Heights. It's hot. It still feels like a degree or 2 warmer because of the humidity. And overnight in the city, around 70, upper 60s outside of the city. Not much of a breeze either. So hot and humid weather continues. That will be fuel for storms. We're already looking at a couple of weather alert days here, and we'll talk about the time frame on Tuesday and Wednesday and the impacts that will be felt with our next severe weather chance.
Today, St. Louis is celebrating one of its most prominent pioneers, Annie Malone. Thousands made their way downtown for the 114th annual May Day Parade, which just wrapped up. 5 on Your Side's Travis Cummings spoke with the woman leading this year's longtime tradition.
Long ties, born and raised, so St. Louis.
It's a day to be loud and proud.
What are you excited about most, getting this opportunity to serve as Grand Marshal this year?
So I'm really excited about getting the word out about mental and physical health in our community. I'm also just excited to celebrate our city.
Affinia Healthcare CEO Dr. Kendra Holmes is elated to lead such a long-time tradition in her hometown. Her health center's mission is reflective of the 114th annual Annie Malone Day Parade theme, connecting physical health to mental health and wellness.
For many years, especially in the Black community, healthcare is not welcoming. So I don't really put all of the responsibility on the patient. I put a lot of responsibility on healthcare providers that we need to do our part to be trustworthy, to provide quality healthcare to underserved patients.
The Annie Malone Children and Family Service Center that helps families in crisis is happy to get behind the effort.
Because we all just need a hug and sometimes a mental break. Mental health is just so in our face and relevant right now, and I think more and more people are becoming comfortable with speaking up, and we teaching our kids that it's okay that sometimes you're not okay.
Bands rolled in between different organizations down Market Street for the second largest African American parade in the country. The name Annie Malone speaks volumes. The chemist and entrepreneur became a millionaire by successfully developing and marketing hair products for Black women in the city. This is Natalie Nesbitt's 10th year.
Love, peace. It's friendly today, no violence.
As for the theme, highlighting the brain and body,
that's the top #1 thing.
We need the connection. They marry each other.
Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
Annie Malone added a family fun area to give children a lot to do. Of course, 5 on Your Side is a proud sponsor of the parade. Our team was part of today's parade. Well, after falling into disrepair, a 25-year-old Arnold playground got a glow-up this weekend. And this morning, kids came flocking. The playground revamp started after Arnold's Parks and Recreation Department noticed parts of the original structure were rotting. Now the park's decked out with new jungle gyms, swing sets, slides, and more. Arnold City Park Playground celebrated its grand opening yesterday from 10 a.m. to noon. Coming up, little protests, little enthusiasm. How some students met the president's appeal to young voters at the graduation ceremony. Plus, the search for Iran's president after a helicopter crash that happened just hours ago. Just hours ago, President Joe Biden made an appeal to young voters at Morehouse College's graduation ceremony. But as the president began speaking, some students began spreading their own message. Rob Kirkpatrick has the latest.
President Joe Biden delivered the commencement speech at Morehouse College Sunday. The historically black college, located in Atlanta, is the alma mater of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who led nonviolent protests during the civil rights movement, something the president reflected on.
I want to say this very clearly. I support peaceful nonviolent protest. Your voices should be heard, and I promise you I hear them.
As Biden began speaking, a student in the audience unfurled a Palestinian flag and held it up. Some students also turned their chairs away from the president during his address, which is exactly what the president of Morehouse talked about with students prior to the speech.
I had students ask me about it. What if we, turned our backs on the president or turned our chairs? And I said to them, I'll be embarrassed, but that's not your problem.
Pro-Palestinian protests have gripped college campuses across the nation in recent months amid Israel's continuing war against Hamas. The president acknowledged students' anger over the conflict.
It's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. That's why I've called for an immediate ceasefire.
But there have been mixed reactions within the Morehouse community to Mr. Biden's presence on campus.
If our guest star at commencement is the reason why we have to be so uptight that we would disavow our pledge to, making the world a better place and not allow people to protest and voice their opinions, then I think that's all the more reason that he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Rob Kirkpatrick, 5 on your side.
A massive search and rescue operation is underway in the Middle East for Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi. Investigators say after hitting dense fog and rough weather, a helicopter carrying him and a foreign minister went down near the Azerbaijani border. Some officials have been calling it a, quote, hard landing, others calling it a crash. Right now, we don't know if the president and the minister are okay. Iran's supreme leader is telling people throughout the country to pray for the president as the search continues. We will keep you updated as we learn more. Coming up, could cutting the Social Security tax cap save dwindling national funds? Tonight, we verify.
We've had a nice break from severe weather and even rain over the last few days, but that will change as we start the week. We're tracking this severe weather and how it impacts us over the next 48 hours here just ahead.